Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers. Facility
today at rnrracewear.com.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Dover Motor Speedway, Pocono, or yeah, not Pocono Downs, listen to me, Dover Downs, the old casino there, home of Miles the Monster, and yeah, all concrete track, and I'm kind of glad that the blimp was over part of the corners, as you could see in practice. The track really dark from that practice. But joining me, as always, the one and only Kurt Swatsworth. Swats, here it is, Dover, one track. How you feeling tonight, sir?
What's going on, Pete? What's going on, all the viewers? I'm feeling pretty good about this track. I like Dover, or at least in real life, watching it on TV and stuff like that. It's a fun track. It's a lot of action. It's not wide, so you can't make a lot of passes and on the straightaways and things. You've really got to set up your corners. Probably a lap or two before you even make that pass. You can't do, the quick passing like we see at some tracks where it's 4 or 5 cars wide. So there's a lot of action on this track, a lot of good drivers, and hey, I mean, it's the second race of the season essentially for the points. Obviously, we did have Daytona as well, but as I said, to me, last week's when the racing really started. We'll see who can come away with it tonight.
Yeah, I mean, so far, Brian McCann has just been on top of the heap, really doing very, very well, not only here in the IROC Challenge Series, sponsored by the one and only Spartan Transportation and R&R Racewear, but over in the No Bull races and everywhere else as well. So Brian McCann in that number 3, right now sitting on top of the charts in qualifying, and just as I say that, Robert Barney comes across and knocks him down a spot, and with Chris Mefford, number 3 here in this 46. So these guys just continue to go lap after lap, new pole time after new pole time. I'm going to actually go ahead and take a quick look at what the weather is like and see if it's a cool track or what we got going on. Looks like so far it's about an 83-degree air temp with a track temp of 94. It's not that bad for concrete.
No, I mean, it depends. Concrete, with the temperatures and things like the sun beating down on it, you can get a lot of slickness. You can get where the track is hot, so it melts the tires in the corners and things like that when they're making those turns. And you'll see the track turning black. We already see it happening in practice and now qualifying, where the track has that black groove going around the bottom of the corners and coming out of the corners. So it's not quite hot enough to really melt the tires, but this many trucks on one track after a long practice and now qualifying, that groove is going to be pretty much set. That's why you see a lot of tracks adding that extra sticky compound to give some extra groove. And unfortunately in iRacing, we can't set that up or put that into play, but this track, like I said, it's a 1 to 2 groove track. You can't really run any higher than that on the corners, and it's going to cause a lot of aggressiveness in some corners.
Absolutely. And one other key thing I wanted to kind of take a look at in that weather details, or in the weather, is it's going to be overcast, which means this track is not going to go from baking in the sun to the cooler temperatures behind a big cloud. It's going to be pretty consistent all race long. This track is going to have a ton of grip, and when it heats up, it's probably going to feel just right. Usually we see a lot of guys really get a little wicked loose coming up off the gas, coming up off the corners, because they are coming up a hill, up and off to her again, and getting on that throttle, it might get a little loose. So we'll have to see how this plagues them, or if it helps somebody new come on up here and grab a W.
Yeah, Pete, I mean, this track, everybody always concrete. Well, this track has been run. There's been at least one real NASCAR race here since 1971 all the way to 2020, where we did miss one, obviously, because of COVID. But this track was not concrete until 1995, so it's not super old, concrete. It's, probably still up to date as far as concrete go. We see a lot of tracks where the concrete starts coming up, or we've seen races where pieces come up during the race and it breaks the front ends, or we've seen even water pouring out of some places that have had
I remember that,
pavement and things like that to ruin the track. But this track, I mean, as old as it is and as old as the concrete, I mean, we're talking 20 years now that this place has been concrete. So I know we don't have 135,000 fans watching on Twitch right now, or on IROC TV, but this place can fill you can put a lot of people in the seats to watch this race, and it's kind of like a Bristol race, but just a little bit bigger.
Yeah, kind of a Bristol on steroids. Kind of the same banking. It's actually not too far off, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm actually going to go ahead and ride into or ride along with the Deuce right now of Neil Quick. I'll jump into the cockpit with him, and you can watch. Here he is going down the backstretch, going to cross under the cross under the bridge there. You see him go down the hill. So the truck's got to land, and then they got to come back up the hill. This is where the back end of the truck gets a little light. Cross the start stripe, and just as we saw before, it'll go down the hill again, kind of like on a 1 mile track. Midway through 3 and 4, you really want to keep that truck pinned to the bottom as much as you can. Try to keep off the wall like he just did, and then back down into turns 3 and 4 one more time. So that Ally Bridge, I heard, is some of the best seats around the Monster Mile. And we'll just have to see if Miles has been fed lately, or if tonight's gonna feed him a whole bunch of carnage. So far, so good from what I've seen in practice and here.
If you're bad at it, it can definitely get out of control quickly. Like you said, with the wall, you know, a lot of guys, they'll try to push it coming out of the corners, and it just does. You run out of room. It's not wide. You're carrying more speed than you do through the corners, like at Bristol, at this place. So it just doesn't. Yes, it's a way more speed through the corners than you do at, say, Bristol, where you really got to slow it down to get through the corners.
Jessica Stubblefield out there already in the land of YouTube saying, "Let's go, Stubbs." Well, here he is, driver of that number 79 Spartan Transportation Silverado. So far, he's run a good almost. Well, he's coming to happen. Just as I say that, of course, he's going to say, not so fast. Going to pull it down on the apron. Although this might just be a little bit of extra practice to come on down pit road. Swats, you and I both know from our time racing Dover, this is probably one of the slickest and one of the trickiest pit road entrances. Just as I say that, I think the 6 just completely locked him up, spun him out, and made some contact with the outside wall at the entrance of pit road. But you're carrying so much speed going in 5 for pit road speed. But 79 just taking a cool, calm, and collected ride through pit road before getting back up to speed around the apron.
Yeah, I mean, the pit road is definitely a very hard access point for Dover. If there's a track other than maybe a road course or certain circumstances, I wish these cars had turn signals, because it is very hard to notify people. Luckily on iRacing, we can use that button, push to talk, and let people know that you are going to pit. But a lot of guys don't. They just expect you to know, don't run into me. And a lot of guys, they get that tunnel vision looking out that windshield, and they really just look to make their corners and hit their marks. And they aren't paying attention really to the guy in front of them. They expect him to do what he's going to do. And if you go into the corner expecting that guy...
Yeah, we have, and especially a place like this. Now, we've seen races in the Cup cars here at Dover. We've seen the Xfinity races as well as trucks. The new Cup cars, the next gen or the Gen 7 cars, those things are like tanks. They can take a little bit of a beating off the walls here at Dover. Byron Jones, you got a little throttle happy, sent the truck into the outside wall, blew the motor instantly. There was like no ifs, ands, or buts. It was just done, and I didn't think it was even that hard of a hit, and the hit was actually on the side. It wasn't even, he didn't pancake the Chevy emblem on the front of his Silverado and still blew it up. These guys, they're really gonna have to watch their P's and Q's for 200 laps. If you're not able to stay in your zone, in your if you're not able to get in the groove. There's what I was thinking of. Then you're going to have a problem here, because this place can spit you out pretty quick.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I was saying about people paying attention, getting that tunnel vision. This track, it can get very slick. It can get very close quarters. There's a lot of 1 to 2 lane running only. You'll see some guys try to venture up there in the 3rd lane, maybe closer to the wall, but I just, the way that the track drives, and the longer you're out there on a green flag run, the more rubber is getting taken off those tires. It's not as gritty as some of those tracks like Auto Club and a few others that this place just melts it, because it's concrete. It gets warm, it gets hot. Even though it's only 80 or 93 degrees as a track temp, it's not, 108 like we see at Talladega, where it's, the little bit of the same mixture for the track, but it just peels that rubber right off. So you'll see guys start venturing up the track a little bit, trying to find fresh concrete to have a little bit more grip, because when that black line goes around the corners, that's rubber, and when you're on it, and old tires that are no grip, you're just slipping and sliding. So you really got to baby that throttle. You really got to come up with the timing of getting back into the gas and holding whip out around you. These trucks, I personally can't figure out how to drive them on some tracks because the back end feels so light that it just whips around on me. I have better luck in the Xfinity cars. A lot of guys say are the worst car to drive on iRacing, but in my opinion, it's the best. So some guys like a loose car, some guys like tight. I would prefer a tight car compared to a car or a truck or car that I have no feeling in the back end. I wish I was up north and I could throw some sandbags in the back of the truck or something.
There you go. And that would be that man. Yeah, there you go. Kind of working our way
up north. You know what I'm talking about.
I absolutely do. Yo, yeah. It's kind of funny. I was actually talking to my wife the other day. I wasn't quite sure if, I told her that if while I was traveling up north, if we happened to get any snow, because they were getting some up there, to make sure that she threw some blocks into the back of the truck. That way, if she happened to have to go out, she had a little extra weight in the rear end and the truck wouldn't slide. Well, it's got four-wheel drive. The rear end
consistently, unless you absolutely need it.
Yeah.
So two-wheel drive, front-wheel driven trucks and stuff. The back end is so light, but I mean these ones here. I mean they've got the rear end, rear driving of the truck. It's still so light. There's nothing there, and the back end just spins out on you, and it's really hard to control in the Cup cars. I prefer Xfinity or Cup car. I can't drive a truck, so it's going to be an interesting night to see who can keep that truck from pointing the right direction, or who has it pointing the wrong direction at some point through this race.
Yeah, keeping an eye right now. I've just been kind of going through the field. Cook Quick, Neil Quick. Now on to Dylan Dellinger. I was on the 3 of Brian McCann for a while. Brian McCann's actually back there in about P number 6. I believe he's got a pretty good starting spot, but we were just kind of keeping up with the 5 and a couple others. This here now, the 00 of Mike Koch. We actually just saw him kind of go for a little bit of a ride, but able to go on down, grab a brand new truck. He's back out and moving right along. All right.
Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised Pete Bryan's not higher on the board. I mean, he's currently sitting 6th, but Robert Barney was the guy that we watched last week that came out of nowhere with that strategy that seems to be one of the faster ones in practice.
Absolutely, yeah. Robert Barney, he's up on top. Chris Mefford, Kevin McCann, Ryan Honeycutt, and then Mike Koch going to be your top 5 so far right now. As soon as the system decides it wants to play well with others, here we go. So again, on the pole is going to be Ryan Crooks in that number 1 machine with Robert Barney to his outside. Brian McCann, P number 3 in his 3. Hey, we'll have to see if that's good luck. Chris Mefford in his 46, starting P4 to round out row number 2. Row number 3, Ryan Honeycutt, Kevin McCann, P6 in his double 3. P number 7 is going to be the number 7. Who knows? That could be lucky for him as well. Talking about David Brown. P number 8, Byron Jones in that 19. P9 is going to be Joshua Funkhauser in his 81. P10 to round out row 5. Talking about Neil Quick in that deuce. P11 is going to be Gabe Ellison in the 27. And then Vincent Short to round out your top 12. Let's see if we can... You want to go through the rest of the field, please, sir?
Yep, we've got Peyton Davis being 13th, Mike Koch, we were just talking about the 00, starting 14th, Stoney Benfield starting 15th, Cook Quick 16th, David Trumbull in his 96 Chevy will be starting 17th, Cal Pendergraph in the 18 spot, Timothy Stubberfield, the Stubberfield Nation out there in 19th right now for the starting position. Tim Schofield will be starting 20th, Bill Hells in a 3 Chevy will be 21st, Dougley Wykowski will be 22nd. Dylan Dellinger will be 23rd. Chris Wally in his 51 will be 24th. And Dakota Clark will round out the field starting 25th tonight, Pete.
Yeah, so 25 cars out here, or 25 truckers, I should say, here for Dover Motor Speedway. And, man, we've seen some great racing so far. This will be nothing less. Ryan Crooks, welcome back one more.
Pete, to start this thing off with Ryan Crooks in the number 1, winning one of the dual races to get in here was an unbelievable win. Brian McCann also very, very fast. His brother right there in the 33 sitting back in I don't even know what that is, P10. Quick start tonight. The 16 rider Robert Barney coming off a great race last week. We'll see if he can repeat some of that action tonight. But I'm not going to be surprised to see that one truck in the top 3 at the end of the night, Pete.
Yeah, the one of Ryan Crooks always has a huge following out there from the land of EMGG. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. Usually they'll have either a Twitch or a Facebook watch party, and they've got all kinds of people that are, you know, rooting this guy on, whether it's here in the IROC Challenge Series, or if it's in Shake and Bake, or wherever this guy races. As so far, he actually just went to Plaid, putting down the fastest lap so far, 23.81. So that means he's got a pretty quick Silverado. He's not one of the guys in the back with the draft. He's pulling these guys around to go ahead and complete lap number 4.
And I'm kind of surprised he's going out this hot, this early. You know, a handful of laps into this race right now. We're only 4 laps in of 200. So I'm kind of surprised he's going out there this fast. This track is one of those tracks where guys will kind of baby it through the first 10, 15 laps and then wait for those tires to really kick in and go. But these 3 up front have just lit the tires from the start, and they are pulling away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit of a battle right here for P number 2. Brian McCann down low and able to take the spot from Robert Barney. Now, Robert, again, this in practice, very, very fast in qualifying. Only he's down 1 spot after starting P2 to the outside of Ryan Crooks. But here he is one more time, showing why that 3, week in and week out, he can be consistent no matter what. And I would say, if I'm Ryan Crooks, I'm going to be smart. Yeah, you know the 3's fast. I'm not going to push it. He's already been out there. He's led a few laps now. Don't bake your tires. Drop on back a little bit. Save a little bit. That way you've got a little bit to try to get on up there later on. All you got to do is, if you're not the leader, just keep the leader in sight. And whatever you do, don't fall too far back to where you end up getting lapped.
Yeah, and I'm looking at some of the lap times outside the top 4 right now. Those guys are all running right around 23.8. But there's a couple others back in the field that are kind of waiting. Neil Quick back there in 10th right now, or 11th right now. He's running a 24, so he's about 2/10 off the pace from what the top 4 are running, slowest out of any of the ones in front of him. Could he be waiting for that 10-15 lap burn off and then start picking his way through here, like you do at, say, Las Vegas or the old Atlanta, things like that, Charlotte, where you wait for guys in front of you to really burn those tires off, and then you start picking them off on the long green flag run? Or these guys thinking it's going to be not long green flag runs, and that's why they're going out so fast to try to get away from everybody. I don't think it works for you, because in a long run, you're going to come back to them. And if it's short runs, what's the point of going out there and getting away from everybody and just continually burning off those tires? Because hit this early, Pete. So if you go out here and burn your tires off 10 laps into the race, and you have to pit 20 laps into the race compared to somebody else who didn't do that and can hold off for 30, 40 laps, you can go 2 laps down easily at Dover.
Oh, yeah, very, very easily, especially if you have any kind of an issue. I mean, so far, so good. I've been kind of dropping back through the field, picking up truck after truck. Right now, a little bit of a battle between the 14 and the 15. The 14 up high. Are they really high? Nope, thought better of it. But 14 trying to shove that 64 to see if he can get a little bit of momentum. But with them side by side, they're stalled out. But they are one long conga line all the way back. These 2 truckers right here are the only ones right now that are side by side. Everybody else nose to tail. They know that there's a long way to go. They don't have to push it right now. Keep the right front on it. More important is keep the fenders on a thing. You don't want to, catch yourself into the wall to where you got to spend a little bit of extra time on pit road. But oh, by the way, before you get there, you're losing time on track.
One underneath the 18, 33 going to try to follow him. Doesn't get there, though. He's going to tuck in behind the 18 and try again through the next corners. The 27 who pulled off that big run last week that we had, Pete. He's working his way through the field, too. He just passed the 7. He's closing in on the 33 and 18 as they're side by side now for about a half lap. That 33 trying to complete this pass on the 18 so that he's not running side by side, and does complete it finally.
The 18 of Ryan Honeycutt now able to fall in right behind the 33, and these guys kind of doing everything that they can. 33 is actually showing Yeah, there he is, Kevin McCann. But as you see him going down the backstretch, screaming down the backstretch, more like it. Just high, very, very high along that wall. That way you've got a great entrance into this roller coaster-esque raceway. Laps completed. Watch, we're going to say 15 of 200. Next it'll be 50, 100, and very soon we're going to be counting down to the second half. This is only a 1 mile concrete track. This whole race is going to fly by. It looks like one track was actually just, I think that was Dakota Clark. He was on the bottom side, puffing out the backside.
Yeah, he's coming down pits. I believe he made contact with the wall there.
Yeah, him and see what's going on. He is around. If he don't hit the wall, Byron, back it up, back it up. There we go. Yeah, it looks like the front end of his Silverado is okay. Back end, so it looks like you might have hit something.
81.
Yep, but let's go ahead and find out exactly what happened with Byron right now. Underneath the 81, so not quite sure. Oh, just fight over real estate, and Byron's got tagged in the back end. But you know what? Him getting tagged in the back end may have been a saving grace because he was going nose first. That could have been horrible for him, especially how I said earlier he blew a motor by making even slighter contact than that. All right, let's go ahead and bring it back live. That could have been bad.
And I'm trying to find out what happened to Dakota as well. I'm not seeing anything that would have caused it. It looks like he's riding, he's about 24th. And he is riding behind Bill Hills in the 53, goes into the next corner. I don't see anything. He banged it off the wall. So just like you said about Byron,
yep.
He banged it off the wall there, and it just shot him to the inside wall. He made contact with the inside wall with the front of the truck, and that blew the inside walls. Just as you said with Byron there, making contact with the outside wall in practice, and it blew the engine. It blew it for the 32 before he even hit that inside wall. So that was just extra damage to his truck, and I believe he's going to be down and out.
Well, let's see if we
no patch repairs to him. Yeah,
very, very unfortunate. Let's see if we can actually pull driver of this this number one Spartan Transportation machine on up. We're going to stay out. I'm going to guess you're feeling pretty good about that Silverado, sir.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about it. This is a long race, and this track is very challenging mentally and physically, so feel good about it. Just trying to take care of the tires, especially until we get to that competition caution at lap 50. But yeah, feeling good about it. Had speed in practice. Management's a really long race, and again, like you lose focus one time here, and that can be it. So, but like our shots, so we're fast.
Yeah, you definitely look very, very fast. After starting on pole, you're going to have the three of Brian McCann right behind you. Him and the 16 have been stalking you all the race. Kind of interesting to hear you talk about the right front. You seem like you kind of fired off really, really fast, like you just wanted to stay up front. Is it just because clean air is so important here at Dover, or do you just not want to have to put up with that fight a little bit later on?
Yeah, I think it's both. I think you want to fire off and you want to stay out front and you want to take care of your right front. The longer you get a green flag run, when the right front starts to wear a little bit, obviously you lose the ability to turn down across the track and get back to the gas. So staying out front in clean air keeps downforce on your nose, and sometimes, if it's mostly a one-lane stay up front.
All right, buddy. Well, as always, you got a lot of EMGG hype out there in chat. As you're going to go take the one to go, I'll get you back on down with Team Comms. Good luck. Go get them. And, yeah, maybe we'll be talking to you again later.
Thanks, guys.
You got it. All right, so that is Ryan Crooks again, driver, after starting from pole. But now he's going to have a little bit of a heat cycle on these tires. Do you think anybody spins them, or you think everybody's still going to be pretty good with the amount of laps that they've run so far being very low at 20?
I mean, these guys are professionals. They know what they're doing, so I don't see a lot of them spinning the tires. You might see a 15 did not pit. I am looking at Mike Koch and Tim Schofield, Kyle Pendergraph. Those guys back there in about 18th, 19th, 20th did not, or they did pit. So we'll see if they can come through the field from about 20th on back. Actually, no, sorry, about 17th.
Oh, green under green.
mean, I was surprised that Ryan was able to get away from Brian that quick. Being on older tires, you kind of baby the throttle a little bit, and he did not look like he babied it at all. And I think Brian did, and that's why Ryan was able to get away from the 3 so quickly. We also see guys usually taking the top one on restarts, and he didn't.
No, he didn't. He said he was feeling pretty fast, and just as we're talking about this, looks like the 3 may be pulling up to try a little bit of a challenge around that outside, around the outside, and here it is, 1-3, battle for the lead. Can Ryan Crooks hold them off? Can the 3 keep it off the wall? Will they try a little bit of a side draft and a little bit of gamesmanship to keep the 3 behind? Still the 1 able to keep down low, but since the 1 is pinched now, Swats, the 3 cannot do anything, and Ryan cannot come up off the corner as quick as he'd like to. In the throttle, 3, no choice, having to give the spot back.
Yeah, and that's kind of the downside. If we were maybe 25, 30 laps into the run and they had not pit, that outside would be a little better because you could carry the momentum. The 1's really got to baby it through the corners. 3's got to baby it coming off the corner so that back end doesn't get out from him. But you could see it there. He tried it, and it's just not ready for it yet. So 3's going to have to back it up, regather his thoughts, and try a different way to get around the 1. Or try to do it the easy way. Do it on pit road. That's very important here because if you go too early and guys hold off and you burn up your stuff and they come back out and we get off the cycle, those guys are going to come back around and pass those guys that pitted early. You wait too long, and you just can't make up the time.
I'm going to guess there's a little bit of an accordion effect on that restart because the top 11 right now between Dylan Dellinger and Stoney Benfield, who we're with right now, there's a good 1.3 seconds between the two. So we got a train of trucks, Bill Hales, Peyton Davis, Timothy Stubblefield, and more, all right behind him, going on back to that neon pink truck that was going about P21. I want to say that might have been Chris Wally, if I'm not mistaken, maybe even one behind him being Doug Wysocki. So this is the back end of the field, and yep, that is the 51 of series.
With fresh tires is Vincent Short back here in 16th with Tim Schofield right behind him, as well as Tim Koch, Cook Quick, and Kyle Pendergraph and Chris Wally. But they're not picking them off like I thought they would. They're kind of just hovering right here. 15 is now underneath the 79 at Timothy Stubblefield right now. He's going to take that position. 12 going to follow him right through and take that next position. So maybe they just waited a couple laps because that fresh air, it does get a little slick on fresh ones also because they're not warmed up. So they might have waited a couple laps to get some heat in those tires, and now they're going to start picking guys off on those fresh tires. But they only get 4 sets, Pete. So I don't know if that was a quick waste of a set. If we have another quick caution here, those guys that didn't pit that last time, they could come down. You can't come down now because you're going to blow a second set doing it that quick. So it's 200 laps. We're 30 laps into this race. It's not a bad move by those guys, but if we have a quick caution, that ruins that strategy.
Yeah, and I don't think we will. I think some of the guys that were up front, they felt pretty good, but we really haven't historically seen a lot of cautions with these guys each week. I mean, Byron and I, we finished season number 5 with these truckers, and there were not a lot of cautions at all. So I imagine that right here, season 6, being second or third race in, they're going to pick up right where they left off. A lot of these guys, very, very strong racers. They know what they're doing.
I mean, I absolutely agree, but mistakes can happen.
Oh, mistakes can happen anytime. Yeah,
exactly. And you don't have to be the one that causes it. So you can find trouble on track from somebody else's mistake as well. The only problem I have, or the only thing that's saving these guys as far as the top 11, top 15 that did not pit, is they got all those guys behind them. So everybody they've got to pass right now is on the same set of tires from 15th all the way up. So it's going to take a little while for them to get up through the pack, and passing is hard. So it's got to be the right moves. So like I said, you got to set it up about a half to a lap ahead before you start making that dive underneath and getting that guy up out of the groove. And that's when things can happen. You get a guy on old tires up into the second groove, they get into the gas, get in the rhythm that they were in prior driving to the bottom line, rear end comes around.
Yeah, and there's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. It looks like Byron Jones is rejoining the race in that number 19 machine. He was out there in Facebook. I'm sorry, in the YouTube chat for a little bit. Says just great. Luck strikes again. So very unfortunate for Byron. He had an amazing race last week. Unfortunately, I was traveling last week, so I couldn't cover the race for the IROC series. But I believe he finished P5 on last week's road course race, and was able to move up a little bit. Tonight, unfortunately, he's going to take another little hit into points, but it's a long season yet to go. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and actually show you what that season is going to continue to look like. As after Road America, here we are for Dover. Next week, we go to Pocono, Talladega, and then we're going dirt racing around Bristol. So that's the next 3 weeks. 80 laps at the Tricky Triangle next week. 75 laps around the juggernaut that is Talladega. And then Bristol dirt racing for a 75-lap feature. That is going to be all kinds of fun, Swats.
Yeah, I mean, Pocono, that's a track that obviously is very tricky for a lot of people, including myself, at least one of the turns. Bristol dirt, I don't want to keep using this phrase for every track, but that's a track where if you don't know dirt style driving, you might as well just get out there and putt around, which can cause a problem. So that's a 50-50 style track. And then you got Gateway. That's another track that I'm not really great at, but it can really give a lot of action on track, a lot of fun watching of passing and things like that. So a lot of good weeks coming up.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait. I mean, 53 almost got in the back end of the 5. Had to check up. Great job by him doing just that. If he had stayed right where he was, he would have clipped the left rear of the 5. 5 would have went nose first into the inside, and that could have absolutely ended the 5's night, especially, again, with how brittle the front end of these Silverados are. So great heads-up racing by that 53.
I was trying to look, P. I don't know who it was that was involved with Byron, but I thought they wrecked on the same corner. I thought it was the 79, but I'm not seeing any damage on the 79. And unfortunately for Byron, he wound up with 16 laps down. Neil Quick's only 1 lap down, but I don't think he was involved in that caution that came out. So unfortunately for Byron, the guy that was swinging back and forth on him, I don't know who exactly it was. I thought it was the 79. Ended up coming back on track and didn't go a lap down, and Byron's got to have a bad night. But one race does not ruin a season. A string of bad races still does not ruin your season, because you can pull off a lot of top 5s before the end of the season and get right back into it. You only have to make the final. You don't have to win every race. You don't have to put yourself in harm's way. You just have to really work and get those points, and you can do it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the very, very long 18-race season, and the top 15 all get a payout from a $5,000 purse. Obviously, first gets the lion's share. I believe it's right around $1,500. And then everybody from 1st through 15th gets something back. Beyond 15th, you chalk it up as a learning season, and you come on back for season 7 or whenever that may be, or if they even decide to do a season 7 here in the trucks. They've been mixing it up. Last season was in the Xfinity cars. This is the trucks. So I imagine season 7 would be back in next gen, unless they decide to do ARCA or something like that. But this battle back here for about P11 has been able to sort itself out, keeping up with Stoney Benfield right now, running 11th, up 4 spots so far from where he started. But right now, Dylan Dellinger right ahead of him into 5. We've been watching him make a few moves. He is the biggest mover, actually now tied for the biggest mover, with Bill Hales riding right ahead of him in P9.
Yeah, I was just going to mention Bill as I had him pulled up on my screen. He's actually running consistent lap times with the leader. And he's not on fresh tires. He's on the same exact tires that he started this race, just like the guys that he's racing around and that are in front of him. and he's consistently faster than those guys. So I don't know what he's found. I don't know if he was maybe babying his tires, like I said, some guys do here, and he's got more rubber on his tires than some of those guys do in front of him. But he is very, very quick right now compared to a lot of guys around him.
Yeah, Bill, his last lap looks like. Yep, 24.899. The leader, his last lap was 24.81. So yeah, not too far off, but within just a few hundredths, as it looks like the two is coming back out on track.
Yeah, and Neil, I'm kind of confused on what Neil is doing here. I'm noticing that he keeps going into the pits. He actually he's 3 laps down, so. This is like the second or third time he's been in the pit, so I don't know if he's just trying to fix up his truck or if he's got something going on at home to where he's got to keep pulling off. We got family and things like that, kids. He does have damage on the front of the truck, so he might be coming in just to get a couple extra seconds here and there. But at this point, if you've been out on track, you might as well stay out on track and hope that a caution comes out at some point to get that thing fixed a little further than he can. The problem is this track is so short, Pete. Just like Bristol and a couple others, you get a little bit of damage, and it takes too long to go down pit road and get, a good amount of damage fixed before coming back out on the track, before going a lap down. So, unfortunately, he's got to do it under green, but I would have probably stayed out unless it was blowing up on him.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of riding around right now with the right side from both Ryan Crooks and Brian McCann, watching just how close these guys get to the wall. Coming up and out of these roller coaster like hills, and it's actually pretty cool the way that they're able to get these wheels to turn, and not really having any kind of an issue. Looks like I got caution out. And I'm not quite sure if this is going to be with Neil Quick or what the case is going to be.
Well, it says Neil Quick crashed, which he jumped to pits. So I thought he was just on track or in the pits when I was watching him. So it looks like he came back out. He went into turn 3 and 4.
Or is a stage. Or is a stage. No.
Is it a stage?
It'd
be 51 laps.
Well,
I didn't realize we had stages.
it's kind of a phantom caution, I guess. But caution is definitely out. I don't see anybody else. I mean, Byron Jones, Neil Quick is also back there. I'm looking at the 14 right now of Kyle Pendergraft. I do see a little bit of an issue on his right rear, but I don't see where any of the broadcasting software has caught what this caution is for. But a lot of people coming down pit road.
It looks like the two actually pulled off track down the apron into turn 1 and 2, and he's just coasting. So,
all right,
I'm not sure if that brought the caution out or not.
Let's find out. So let's go back with Neil Quick right now.
Yeah, he stopped on track. That's what it is.
Okay, so there he is, down on the apron. Looks like the back end's okay. If we take a look at the front end of the Silverado is absolutely destroyed, and yeah, stops on the apron, and it could very well be what the caution is for. Although, keeping an eye on him on pit road, you still see the trucks racing around on the track to his outside, and no caution just yet. So we'll let him bring it back live and see what happens here. But we talked to Ryan Crooks before, so it looks like now the 12 of Tim Schofield, he's going to go ahead and pace as the leader. Let's see if we can pull old Tim Schofield up. Looks like he is in channel 3. All right, 1 second.
Actually, he's bound down pit road, Pete.
Oh, yep, never mind. Don't want to do that. Thank you. I was just about to.
Ryan's going to take back over.
Yeah, it looks like
I was wondering if he was going to pit because he was that 12 that I was talking about that pit the first caution. So I thought maybe he would stay out, which would put him in the lead. It wasn't a quick caution, but it was about 20-something laps after that.
Let me get around.
Yep. All right. So we'll start. Sorry to interrupt your conversation there, Brian. It's repeat in SWATs up in the booth, bud. You're sitting P2. You're up one spot after starting third. You've been stalking the one of Ryan Crooks all night long, or so it seems. We saw after that restart, you tried to pull to his outside. Nothing doing there. I thought it was a pretty good move for you to duck back inside. That way you didn't happen to make a little bit of contact with the wall. What do you think about the race now that we're 50 plus laps in, sir?
Yeah, I was trying to get out there and get clean air. That clean air is where you want to be at. And I was going to get him on the inside, but he pulled low to block me, so I went on the outside. And I thought I could get around him, but I was just killing my tire. And I was like, you know, I don't think I could have made it. And so I just dropped back in, like you said. And, yeah, it's really going to be how can I get around him. And maybe he'll make a mistake, or I don't know. It's going to be tough.
We've seen you celebrate a lot of success, not only last season's championship here in the IROC cars at the time, it was the Xfinity Series, but also in the No Bull racing and all that, all over Facebook and Twitter and whatnot. Can you get up there and can you get this done tonight, or is the clean air that dominant, sir?
Yeah, clean air, that's where you want to be at. It's extremely difficult to pass, especially two drivers that know how to take care of their tires. But we might have some green flag pit stops here, and that may change things up a little bit.
All right, Brian, I'll get you back down with your teammates, team comms. Good luck. Go get them. And, yeah, keep the shiny side up, sir.
Thank you.
You got it. All right, so we got him back down with Kevin McCann and Tim Schofield as part of his team. Now, SWATs, as always, the leader has the benefit or the advantage of being able to stomp on that loud pedal first. That's why the one of Ryan Crooks was able to get away earlier than the 3 was. We'll have to see if he gets that same jump this time round, or if the 3 is able to time that. I know the 3 does race with triple monitor, so he's got a good view of that one car, but it's just that split-second timing that means all the difference.
Yeah, Pete, I mentioned this last week with Kevin about their rigs that him and Brian both have, and Brian posted that picture. It's an incredible rig that he has, so I'm sure he can see everything he needs to see on track as, again, Ryan gets the jump on him, but not as much as he got last time. So I think that was just the tires, where Brian was trying not to spin the tires last time. They're all on fresh tires up here in the front, and I think this is going to be a little bit of advantage. If he's going to make the move, though, he's got to make it now. He's got to do it now. He can't do it late. Like he said, he couldn't go around the outside because he couldn't. He was wearing off his tires. So if he's going to do it, he's got to do it now.
I tell you what, these guys are probably about to run some qualifying laps here. That's just how important it sounded like clean air really was. And so far, the 3 not able to do anything with the one of Ryan Crooks. And already we are single file all the way back to about P10, P15. Guys just really minding their P's and Q's, working on the second half of the first century of laps here at Dover Motor Speedway. So far, Miles the Monster hasn't really reached out and crunched anybody just yet. Some people a little unlucky, such as Byron Jones and Neil Quick and a couple of others. But so far, everybody putting on one hell of a show for all the fans out there in Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and IROC TV through your favorite Roku device. Again, guys and girls, if you haven't already, and you've got a Roku TV or Roku streaming device, go on over, look up the logo that's on the bottom left of your screen, underneath your scoring pylon. Look up that logo. It's free. All content, whether it's POV streams, club, league, community streams, podcasts, whatever it is, all broadcasts are made in stunning 4K, and man, definitely very, very proud to be able to broadcast here on Roku, as well as their Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and everywhere else. So these guys putting on one hell of a race, and SWATs, man, I'm definitely always glad to have you right along with me.
I mean, Pete, I couldn't pick a better person to be in the booth with all the time. So Thursday nights, I look forward to it. It's great racing here in Spartan Challenge Series or IROC Challenge Series, but being able to call the races with you is the biggest pleasure of doing it. So, but watching these guys, I'm kind of wondering when and where Brian is going to try to make this move. He is running consistent, lap times with the one. He's right on the back bumper. He can't figure out a way around. But I was noticing a couple different drivers through the field. Chris Medford, who's sitting in third, he's doing a little something different in 3 and 4. I think it was Ryan McCann just scraped the wall going into turns 3 and 4 there, 3 and 4. But through the corners, Medford, he's going up the track about a half to a car length from the bottom through 3 and 4, kind of diamonding it. And I know we've been referencing Bristol a lot. Bristol is 24-degree banking. This track here is 22 to 24. Turns 1 and 2 is 22. Turns 3 and 4 is 24. And at Bristol, you know as well as I do, Pete, the old style of running Bristol consistently was diamonding the corner, kind of diving it in there, letting it float up the track a little bit, and then cutting it back down on your exit. The 46 is doing that, and he was running them down, but I think that upper line, like Brian said, is wearing off those tires, and he's had to redo his strategy. But that might be a strategy for a late call in the race. If we have a late race caution on fresh tires, if guys do have sets left, that move could work on the outside line.
Yeah, we watched this very position earlier, and you mentioned a little bit of a scrape that the 3 of Brian McCann got on that wall. And just as he did that, I think he was trying to set up the corner to where he was going to be able to lay the throttle down before the 1 did and try to beat him into the corner. 1's going to be able to hold it low. 3 again to the outside. It's going to be a drag race across the stripe that time. They are side by side. Look at the 1 throw it in.
Do it. That was a deep dive into the corner that the 1 just did.
Wow.
If he was on older tires, Pete, that would not have stuck. And I don't think the 3 thought it was going to stick. I think that's why you saw the 3 back it out of the throttle, that he thought the 1 was going to come up the track because he dove it in so late. But big move from the 1 there.
Yeah, well, I mean, in old days, I would have called that a power move. But, man, wasn't quite able to make it work. But Ryan Crooks, I don't know if he was listening to Brian when we were speaking to him a little bit ago, how important he said the clean air is. It seems like Ryan Crooks is fighting for his life to keep the champ behind him as these two are continuing to pull away from Chris Medford, Kevin McCann, and Ryan Honeycutt to round out your top 5. I mean, Honeycutt, he's back here, and he's a good, he's a good almost 3/10. No, he's about a good second behind this pack, or behind this duo, I should say. It's not even a pack. These guys been after it all race long.
Yeah, and I keep watching this, and Brian is, I know he's got the 3 on the side of his truck, but he is looking like the intimidator out here. He's using the mirror of the 1 at all costs. He's swaying back and forth positions on the track. He's trying to set it up, and that's why, like you said, he scraped the wall. He was trying to set that up. It just takes a half lap or a lap to set it up consistently to go into a corner. And unfortunately, he made that 1 mistake here, but he is all over the back bumper of the 1. And he's actually a little faster than the 1. He just can't find a position. There, he did it. Now he's underneath.
All right, getting back up there right now. Let's go ahead and switch this up. Here is that battle. Trying to make sure that we get through the field to show everybody the same amount of love. 3 absolutely throwing it in. 1, he looks like he's kind of pinching the 3 down, so the 3's not going to be able to get back in the throttle when he wants. Is this going to force the 3 to get back up behind him? Yes, it is. And that's what it's all about, especially at a track with huge banking like this. If you keep the truck or car inside of you pinched down, they can't get back in the throttle when they want to because they've got to be able to open up the wheel, let it coast, or let it kind of drive back up towards the outside wall and not have any real issues. These guys have been after it. I know I sound like a broken record, but man, this is a phenomenal race between 2 very capable drivers right now.
Yeah, and I unfortunately for the 3, I think that was his shot. I think he should have tried to move up the track going into the corner so that the 1 could not pinch him down as far as he did, so he could carry a little bit more momentum. But the 1 did exactly what I thought the 3 should have done last time. He should have stayed in it and forced the 1 to get back in the throttle early, which is what the 1 just did there to the 3, and he went right back around. And now the 1 has to regather again and try to go after it again. It's going to be like this all race if these two don't settle it out. And I'm wondering, I did not watch last season, so I don't know Brian's technical driving style, but it gets frustrating doing this over and over and trying to pass the same guy over and over. Ryan is doing an incredible job of blocking and taking away lines. Does the 3 use the bumper at some point to get him off that bottom to make this pass?
We've been referencing the 3 and the Intimidator kind of a look, making sure that he continues to fill in the rearview mirror of the 1. But we were talking about Bristol and how Dover is kind of a Bristol on steroids. As the 51 tags the outside wall a couple times, that's not the 50. Yeah, that was the 51. I believe it's going to be Chris Wally. There we go. Kind of tag the outside wall just a little bit. It's going to kind of take a little bit of momentum from him. But back up front, these two right now a battle for P number 3, 46, absolutely throwing it in. That was not actually a battle for position 84. 1 or more laps down. Here comes the 33 of Kevin McCann, little brother, and Ryan Honeycutt right now still sitting P5 right where he started and right back with it. We mentioned it before. Here is your biggest mover, the 5, continuing to click off some pretty fast laps, up 16 spots to sit P7.
Yeah, the 5, I mean, Dylan, he's been, as hard as it is for Brian to make a pass on Ryan, the 5 has got something figured out on how to make passes. Now, I haven't been watching his passes, so I don't know if he is using his bumper at all or just intimidating guys to make a mistake. And that's what we were talking about with Brian and Ryan, is you have to be so consistent at this track to stay in your line. If you move off of it and get, flustered or anything, you open up the bottom, and guys will take advantage of the 5. He is clearly doing that to everybody he is coming up on, and he is running consistent lap times with guys around him. It's just he's able to use the bottom better than other people and get in there. Lap times compared to the leader, though, he's a little bit off from the leader.
I was kind of watching his last lap, and we're right back in the same corner or same side of the track that I saw him last time. I don't know if you noticed what he did right there. He's diamonding out the corner. He's kind of throwing it down, letting it wash up the track, and then getting back into throttle, cutting the wheel in, and then getting back on the throttle. At least at that side of the track, he was right at the bottom. Here again, let it wash up a little bit, make it turn to the left, try to get it down on the bottom, and then get back in the throttle. So 5 continues to make up time on some others. But so far, again, up 16 spots to P number 7. Hell of a race for driver 5.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Dylan, he's got a pretty good gap to the next position.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's about 3 seconds back from the 27 Gabriel Ellison, who's currently sitting 6th. But I mean, that's kind of I think that's part of the chain reaction that we saw earlier, the accordion effect you were talking about on the restart, where guys just did not get going in certain circumstances, and it just opened up gaps. Even though guys have closed it back in, it's still left gaps in certain areas. I mean, the leaders are 1.8 seconds out in front of Chris Medford and Kevin McCann, with Ryan Honeycutt as well, and then Gabriel's about 0.4 back from those guys, and then Dylan is sitting about 3 seconds back from Gabriel. So there's a pretty large chunk of a hole in a lot of these guys are in this spot here. The rest of the field's pretty evenly matched along with giant groups, but this spot right here between 6th and 7th is pretty large.
Yeah, 6th to 7th, absolutely. And then right now riding along with P number 8, talking about the guy that was fastest in practice and started outside pole, Robert Barney. Right now back in P number 8. Basically holding on to the top 10. I have a feeling we'll probably see him try to make a little bit of a challenge for the lead a little bit later on. But if he's going to do that, he's going to have to hope that a caution comes on out, because right now he's a little over 7 seconds back, applying a little bit of pressure to the 5. I'm wondering if the 5, up all those spots, has really wore out his tires, because the 16 is catching up pretty quick. I think it's not going to be long before he's able to make quick work of him.
Yeah, and he's doing exactly what I just said the 5's been doing to everybody. The 5 floated up the track, 16 immediately dove underneath him. and he's
Oh!
he's not going to make the pass. The 5's going to turn him.
Yep, 5's going to turn them. They're going to recollect each other. Are we going to stay caution? Nope, no caution, but a lot of damage to the 16 and the 5, both side by side. Let's go ahead and actually rewind that and show you how that looked from behind. Not quite sure if there was a little bit of Uncle Netcode visiting or not, but let's go ahead and run chase mode, and we'll go ahead and hit that play button. So you see the 5 outside, get a little bit of a run. Yep, a little bit of netcode started it, but they definitely made contact after that. Good job by both to save those trucks. All right, back live.
Yeah. Pete, I think the 16 was trying to clear himself, and I think the netcode just caught him there.
Yep.
He was, I mean, in all purposes, he was cleared, but he was only cleared by maybe a couple sheets of paper. So that netcode, sometimes it can be, nothing, and sometimes it can feel like it's 3 feet from a bumper, and it can hook you. So I don't think the 5 did anything wrong there. I don't think the 16 did anything wrong there. The 5 could have probably cut the 16 a little bit of a break and let him in, but the 5's been on a tear like we've been talking about with that plus 16, and wasn't giving any room, and the 16 got the worst of it because he's got the most damage, and 5 continued on, and he's still sitting P6.
Absolutely. Going to check in with Tim Stubblefield. Jessica Stubblefield still out there. Tim's kind of blinking in and out on me, so I can't stay with him. But right now he is up to P15, up 4 spots from where he qualified and doing everything that he can. But again, Jessica, unfortunately, I apologize. When he blinks out like that, it throws all the software haywire, and it just plays havoc with the broadcast. But yeah, so far he's up to, has actually just fallen back 2 spots now in P17, up 2 spots. He's right in front of the 51 of Chris Wally, as we'll go ahead and take a look up from him. There you see the 79 right there going into the corner.
Yeah, the 79 lost 2 positions right there to the 23 and the 00. Both making a pass in 1 corner. And it almost looked like the 79 just pulled over and let him go. But, I mean, they're all on the same set of tires right now, so I don't know if he just had enough of them being around him, or if he got loose and then just said, hey, you guys have it. They are battling, obviously, for 17th, or 15th, 16th, and 17th between those 3, but he's not really moving back closer to him. Actually, the 51 is closing in on his back bumper, so I don't know if maybe there's something wrong, or I'm not seeing any damage on his truck, but we're 41 laps into this run, Pete, so these tires could be screaming at guys who tried to make a lot of moves to start this restart.
Absolutely. Talk about 41 laps in when we were able to catch up with this driver. Brian McCann still sitting P number 2. He said we were going to have a green flag pit stop, so it could be exactly what you just said. As it looks like Ryan Crooks is starting to pull away. He's got a good 7, almost 8 tenths up on driver 3. Again, McCann up 1 spot, Chris Mefford up 1 spot, but so far the guy that's leading, this guy right here, Ryan Crooks, started on pole has led just about every single lap. So far, it's going to be a good night for Ryan Crooks if he can continue on this way. But there's still a lot to go. If we do have that green flag pit stop, Kurt, he's got to get down pit road. We saw him practice it earlier, which can be very, very tricky. He's got to get down pit road, carry max speed all the way to his pit, not shoot through his pit, not short his pit, and then get out of his pit carrying most speed, or max speed rather, without spinning his tires. It really is a dance getting onto, getting into, and getting off of pit road, especially here at Dover.
Yeah, and surprisingly, Pete, Ryan's times, he's running consistently right around that 24.7 mark. And actually, there's only 6 guys on track right now. Actually, I'll say 5 that are actually in the 24s. Everybody else is in 25s. Only the top 5 are in the 24s. But Ryan has been fastest on track for consistently the last 4 laps straight, running 24.7s. The second place, Brian McCann's running a 24.9, so that's where that separation's coming from. If he's running, a tenth or 2 quicker than second every single lap for the last probably 10, 50, or I would say at least 8 laps in there, that's that gap back to second place, which is now 1.3. So he's continuing to grow it by doing that.
Yeah, a little bit further back, looking at the 46 right now of Chris Mefford in his Spartan machine. He's got the other McCann, Kevin McCann, right up his trumpet. Kevin, if I'm not mistaken, he actually walked away with the win last week. I could be wrong. Yeah, okay. So yeah, 33 right now, still sitting inside the top 5, up 2 spots after starting 6th. So 46, 33, good little battle here. And then we get back to P number 5 with Ryan Honeycutt. He is literally right where he started. So nothing gained, nothing lost, just holding serve, going to show that his qualifying lap as well as his practice times were pretty consistent, and as well as Gabe Ellison, he's up 5 spots right now, sitting P number 6. He's got some space to make up, and I would imagine that with the gap up to Ryan, he's probably not dealing with too much of a dirty air issue.
Yeah, Pete, the top 3 from last week was Kevin McCann, then Gabriel Ellison, then Brian McCann. So
there you go.
Kevin did get that win. He's got that notch, but he said he wasn't going to settle for that one win. He wants to go out and win every week. And Brian, of course, losing to your little brother, you're going to want to come out and do everything possible as well. But Ryan Crooks has just been unbelievable since the start of this race, Pete. I don't think he's not led a lap. I think he's led every single lap since the drop of the green flag, if I'm not mistaken here, even through the cautions. It just worked out that way that, we didn't have somebody who pitted on the first caution, was able to stay out on the second one. But just Ryan, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's found. I've tried riding around inside the cockpit with him, and it looks to be running the same lines as Brian, Chris, and Kevin McCann. Chris is running a little bit more of a diamond in some of the corners, but Ryan's just on rails. I don't even know how to compare it.
Yeah, I mean, when we pulled him under that first caution about lap 20, he said the truck was fast. So I'm guessing in that 20-lapper, or the practice, or the warm-up, and all that before, he felt very, very good about his chances and the piece that he's got under him. Absolutely bad fast, and now up to a 1.89. Oh, it looks like McCann falling back a little bit, back to about 2 seconds. He just lost a good 3 or 4 tenths to Ryan Crooks. And I'm going to try to get back up with him right now. I've been kind of going through the field, and I don't see. Let's actually take a look at the front of this machine. Did he make contact? Yeah, it looks like he's actually made a little contact with the wall. A little bit of a gap there between in the hood of his number 3 Silverado. It looks like a little bit of scrapage around the right front wheel well. Swats, did I lose you?
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I actually went back and looked. He actually brushed the wall about middle of the backstretch, about a lap or so before you looked at him. Going into turn 3 and 4, he was just coming out of turn 1 and 2 and just brushed the wall, which definitely ate up some time for him.
And you know what? I can almost guarantee that Ryan Crooks was happy about that timing, because right about the time that happened, Ryan Crooks would have been coming up on this lap traffic, or those 3 cars that you see between these two right now, and he was happy because he didn't have to fight them as hard as he might have had to if the 3 was all over the back end of that one.
Yeah, and also back through the field, Kevin McCann was able to get by Chris Medford finally. It took 56 or 55 laps for him to finally get by Medford, but has made it through. So now he's now that his brother's starting to come back to him after brushing the wall, I think Brian's got a little bit of handling issue with doing that. So. And also remember, when he goes down pit road, he's going to have to either turn off the repair or repair it. But the longer he's on pit road, because you don't know your repair time until you hit the line, which you can't, or until you hit your box. So you can't even, say, maybe I won't fix it, or go in and think, oh, I'll fix it. It might only be a second or two, and you wind up with 15. And we're running 24-second laps. That's, you're going down another lap.
Yeah, so Chris Mefford back to P number 4, right where he started. Same thing as the 18 of Ryan Honeycutt. So 18 again, I mentioned it before, holding serve. 46 back where he was. So down 1 spot, so still right where he queued up when this race began. Working lap 110 of 200. I said it a while back. It was going to be like, as 79 is going to go ahead and tag the wall. Just a little bit. Let me go see. It looks like he was able to hold on to it. So good job by him as the 18 and company going to be able to move on.
Yeah, the 5 just came down to hit pit road with the 84 or the 23, and he actually went 3 laps down. Dylan did. So he is right behind the leader, and he might be able to get back to 2 laps down and then wait for the leader to pit and then maybe come out. But he is on fresher tires running 24.2 speed versus 25 seconds for Ryan Crooks. So he's running almost 3 seconds faster than the leader.
So then there poses the question, the age-old question, Swats. How much longer does the leader stay out on the older tires? Does he stay out until, say, half or 3/4 of the field goes on down pit road to where you see the greater chance you've had of a caution coming out by somebody making a mistake getting onto pit road? Or do you come in earlier knowing that the field is very spread out and you've seen what kind of racing you've got around you with a pretty stacked field?
Well, I see you're on the 1 right now.
Yeah.
So watch the 5 come up to the 1. He just blows the doors off the 1, going around the outside. We saw how difficult that was for Brian when Brian and Ryan were both on fresh tires. So look at the difference here on the speed that the 5 carries through the corner compared to Ryan, who's on 60-lap older tires than the 5. He just blows the doors off of him, going right around him. So that's a rough call, because the older the tire, the worse it is to try to get down on pit road, the slicker it is. Guys can spin, guys could not call it out, or somebody could not realize somebody's pitting and run into them and run them over and cause a caution, and then you're basically stuck. If you did pit and went 2 laps down, like most of the field's doing when they go into the pits, that's a tough call. It's kind of a gamble either way, because if you stay out too long and those guys that goes green, they'll come right back around you. I mean, we just saw the 5. He was 3 laps down, now he's 2 laps down, and you could tell the speed difference there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But one thing that's going to happen, and we've seen it before, the 5, yeah, he's blistering right now. He feels like Superman on those 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods. He's got a tank full of gas. Whoa, that was close. Between the 18 and the 1. Holy cow, I thought for sure there's going to be some contact there.
Tires versus old ones.
Yeah, there you go.
Ryan Honeycutt just pit too.
Yep. So the 1, he's got to come down. I mean, he had a good 7 to 10 second lead over the 5 and over the 18 and over a lot of other people, but he's going to have to come on down pit road very, very soon if he's going to hold serve on those tires. And we just watched the 3 of Brian McCann go on by. He's got all kinds of damage on his right side.
Yeah, and the only benefit for Ryan Crooks as well is he has been so fast compared to everybody else. Right now, he is 4.5 seconds out on Kevin McCann, who's currently sitting second, who Brian has slipped to third, and actually looks like he might be coming down pit road here shortly. But Ryan, the benefit for him is he's been so fast. So he could wait until he's one of the later cars pitting and then just come back out on fresh tires. We only have, 80 laps to go, Pete, after this next lap here. So he's running 67 or 68 is what he's going to be coming around to. So I don't know what the fuel mileage is for these guys on this 1 mile track, but if it is up around 70, 80 laps, he could be pushing it to try to get to that mark to be able to finish out this race on this 1 stop here. If it's not, and some guys have to double pit again or pit again to finish out this race, Ryan could be in the same boat, but I feel like he's trying to get within the window.
Yeah, and it could very well be. And with that kind of a gap, you're able to play a little, a couple games with your clutch pedal. You can save a little bit of gas. Let the car or let the truck rotate a little bit, especially as the race has gone on. The truck's getting a little bit tighter. You're out of the throttle a little bit more. Save a little bit of gas. Hit that clutch pedal if you're capable. And it doesn't even look like coming up and off the corner like he's getting any kind of loose. This truck is just on rails, Kurt.
Oh, I mean, I said it 40 laps ago. He has been on rails since the drop of the green flag, and we're even before that with qualifying. But he's just, I don't know what he's doing. He definitely knows how to drive Dover. Ryan is a very, very skilled driver. We've seen him in a lot of different leagues, and he is usually a top 5 driver in any league that he enters. I would love to see Ryan, get to the level of a pro series or a Coke series or something like that to see where he can line up against those guys, because there are certain tracks where Ryan is so dominant, it's not even fair really to the rest of the field. We've seen it. I've seen it in other leagues where a guy we know, Jordan Bain,
Yep.
he was just ridiculous at some tracks where he would lap the entire field twice, and it wasn't even fair. So there's just certain guys out there that just have that skill or that mentality or strategy. Like Dohar has all the strategies with his handy-dandy notebook that he carries to every single race he goes to. There's just guys out there that have so much experience, so much knowledge, so much skill that it's just hard. It doesn't work on every track, but there are certain tracks like this one that Ryan is just, he's on another level.
Well, I mean, yeah, Ryan is definitely super fast. He's super fast here. He's super fast on Monday nights with the Shake and Bake iRacing Cup Series. He's super fast. Here we go. So the one coming down pit road as we speak locked him up a little bit just as he got to the line. So I'm sure he was able to whoa it up and slow it up. Max speed, I believe, is like 40, 45 down pit road, and you really got to make sure that as you come to your pit box, you don't short it. And same thing, you don't pass it. You grab your 4 Eagle Feel Goods, you come on out, and you do what you got to do. Looks like he got a very, very safe entrance in, and he's going to be able to come. I'm sorry. Nope, scratch that. I was covering. I'm talking about Ryan Crooks, and yeah, I'm talking about Ryan Crooks, and I'm looking at Chris Wally making his way down pit road. My bad, but no, here for real, here is Ryan Crooks. Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? But anyway, yeah. So carrying max speed right about 2,800 to maybe 2,600 RPM. All the way to your pit box, and because he started on pole, this pit road is extremely long. So he can't speed, he can't go too slow because every little bit is track position. Now he's got to make sure he works his way into his pit box. Again, doesn't slide through, doesn't short it, doesn't blow past it. Nope, you're not going to have to back it up, not going to have to pull forward. He's getting his service done. He will be back out. We'll just have to see how him staying out on track is going to fare with track position, especially how they both him and Brian McCann said clean air was so important here.
Yeah, and the rest of the guys right behind him are all coming down to Kevin came in same lap. Brian, who actually dropped all the way to 5th after running into the wall there the second time, he's actually coming down pit road right now too. Gabriel Ellison moves into second. Chris Medford moves into the lead. So those guys are staying out a little longer. But, Pete, they are within their window of making it to the end right now. So they can definitely make it to the end. We'll see who can accomplish that. Ryan's going to have to come through the field a little bit. But he's going to be on way better tires than some of the guys who've already pitted. I mean, the 5 that we saw pit early, he's been out on track for 22 laps since the last time he pitted. So that's a huge difference for some guys who have now just decided to come down.
Absolutely. Right now, the one of Crooks does show to be the first truck one lap down. Mefford, Ellison, Benfield, and Honeycutt yet to come on down. And just as I say that, looks like Benfield, he's going to make his way down pit road. And that's going to hand the lead over to Gabe Ellison in this number 27 Spartan Silverado. And every single, I don't know if you've noticed, but every single one of these trucks painted somewhat similar. They've all got the Spartan Transportation LLC sponsorship, the R&R Racewear sponsorship, as well as the Hot Dog Stand podcast sponsorship as well. So with Gabe Ellison on pit road, that's going to hand it over to the 18 of Ryan Honeycutt. He's going to want to try to stay out if he can, lead a lap, and get that one extra point. So far, yep, there goes Honeycutt. He was able to pass Gabe Ellison while on track, and that's going to move Ryan Crooks up to P number 3, 11 seconds behind. Once Honeycutt is done with his time, Crooks will then go ahead and reassume the lead, and man, he is going to have one monstrous gap back to the 33 of McCann, talking at least 5 or 6 seconds. So it's going to be a big battle.
Well, as of right now, 18 already pit. He pit 21 laps ago. So he was one of those guys that came down pit road with Dylan Dellinger, or after Dylan, and Cook Quick and Mike Koch and a couple of those guys. So he's already made his final stop of the race right now if they can go the 90 laps. The problem is, even though he's up 9.5 seconds, he's on 23 lap old tires compared to Ryan Crooks, who's on now 7 lap old tires. So if a caution comes out, then yes, Ryan Honeycutt's strategy is out the window. If a caution does not come out, that's a lot of time for Ryan Crooks to make up. I think it's a good strategy by Honeycutt, because even if he does get passed by Ryan or Kevin McCann, Chris Medford's 22 seconds back. So could he hold on to a top 3 finish by making this early pit stop compared to the leaders? And that was what I was saying about strategy. It's all on when you decide to come down pit road and where everybody else goes. It's just a flip of a coin on whether or not, you do it right. And it could be different every time you come to this track, because the guys are all different. You don't know who's going to make the pit, when they're going to make the pit, what lap they're going to do it. So it's really hard to figure out, and I'm kind of interested to see if it pulls or pays off for Ryan Honeycutt.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting once Honeycutt does have to come on down pit road. Right now, as you can see on the scoring pylon, Brian McCann in P number 5, he is the last truck on the lead lap. Just as he was able to get on by the 18 of Honeycutt, he put himself P5. Then you got Mefford, Kevin McCann, Ryan Crooks, and Honeycutt. So only the top 5 left on the lead lap. Everybody else 1 or more laps down. Looks like back to about P15 is going to be 1 lap down. 16th on back is 2, but that's all going to shake up again when Ryan has to come on down pit road for his last service.
I'm wondering, I don't know if Ryan Honeycutt has to come down one more time. We've got 62 laps to go. He's been out on track for 27 laps. I don't know what the fuel strategy. I don't know if it's 90. I don't know if it's 95 laps. If it is, he's within his window. If it's only 70, 75 or whatever, or 80, then he's real close. But if he doesn't have to pit, that's where I was saying it's a long way to get up to him for Ryan Crooks. Now he's running 4 to 5 tenths faster than Ryan Honeycutt. So in 70 laps or 60 laps, could he run him down? Probably. That's where I think this is a good strategy for Ryan, because he was sitting in the P10 or P8 spot when he pitted early compared to everybody else. So does he stay within that top 8? I think so, because Medford, like I said, is 19 seconds back from him as of right now with 60 laps to go.
Yeah, long way. That just goes to show the kind of pace that Ryan Crooks has really put on here at Dover all night long. Mentioned that his truck's on rails. You can't state it more plainly than that. I mean, when you're talking about the 3 of Brian McCann, who's just a competition beast, 19, just about 19 seconds back, sitting P5, in jeopardy of going a lap down if something should happen. Then you've got Mefford. He's 18 plus seconds back. Kevin McCann, he's just about 11 seconds back. Ryan Crooks, 7.1 seconds back, and trying to continually climb. Now, Kurt, I got to ask you, do you think that this 7-second gap back to Crooks is... Do you think that he should have come down pit road sooner than later, or do you think he's going for the long run and saying, you know what, your tires are going to be gone long before mine, or does he think about the 18 being in P5 all race, able to hold serve and run pretty competitive laps right along with Crooks and McCann and Mefford?
I mean, for Ryan Honeycutt in the 18, like I said, I think this was a great strategy for him. Do I think he's going to wind up winning this race based on his strategy? I don't know. I think Ryan Crooks in the 1, who has been the fastest car all night from the drop of the green, I think he runs him down. But do I think Ryan Honeycutt in the 18 falls out of the top 5 before the end of the race? No, I don't think so. Brian McCann, who's sitting 5th right now, is 16 and a half, almost 17 seconds back from Ryan Honeycutt, who's currently leading this race. We've got now less than 60 laps to go. I just don't see Brian getting there. So you're talking about a 4 to 5 position gain for Ryan Honeycutt by pitting as early as he did. Ryan Crooks, I think, will be your eventual winner if we don't have a caution. If we have a caution and guys have to pit, Ryan Honeycutt, just again, it benefits him because he has to come down pit road. Everybody else will have to come down pit road most likely.
Yep.
And he gets the starting position from first. So he either way, he's in the top spot.
Yeah, Robert Wells out there in the land of YouTube says Crooks came out of pit 16 seconds behind Honeycutt. He's cut that to 7. He is flying. That's talking about old Mao out there in the EMGG chat, keeping up with Crooks. And every time that these guys are on track, they've always got a watch party to root their driver on. And man, great job to them. They've actually dedicated their Thursday nights and their Monday nights to driver one here in the IROC series. And I believe it's 25 over in Shakabake on Monday nights. They actually have full-blown watch parties to make sure that their group is able to keep up with their favorite iRacing driver. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I mean, I hope nobody's misunderstanding me. I think Ryan Crooks is going to win this race because I don't think Ryan Honeycutt is going to be able to hold him off when Ryan does get to him eventually here. He's closed the gap, like Robert has said. I just don't know how far Ryan Honeycutt will fall down the list, and I think that's a benefit for him going into the pits at 8th, and he might finish in the top 5 by doing what he did. So strategy-wise for him, it's great. I don't think he's going to win the race because Ryan Crooks has been just so dominant and so fast that, I mean, he's got 15 lap fresher tires than Ryan Honeycutt does. There's no way Ryan Crooks does not get to Honeycutt and make the pass. I'm just saying I don't know how far Ryan Honeycutt falls down this list. Does he benefit himself by doing what he did? I think so. I think he winds up in 3rd or 4th.
And not only that, I mean, Ryan Crooks, as we just saw, as he was just trying to fight his way past the 12, he had to check up quite a bit in the corners, had to wait to get back on the throttle. Otherwise, he would have run the 12 flat over. This is the wrong time to be pulling any kind of a bump and run. So, I mean, the one he is flat flying, as Rusty Wallace always used to say. This one will be there. He's running it down. I mean, just as Robert said just a little bit ago, started 16 seconds back. Then he was at 7 seconds. Then at 5. Right now, he's cut that down to 3.5. This one is coming. He showed earlier that he's got great long run speed. He was able to hold off the 3 and other challengers on the short run, and he pulled away on the long run. I think this one, he'll be filling the rear view of the 18 in just a few laps. He's got 48 laps to do it. He's just got to be methodical, hit his points, and watch that he doesn't burn up the right front trying to catch him.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the lap times also to make sure the fall off is right because I'm trying to calculate in my head on if there's no issues from these top 5 drivers with bouncing off the wall or getting into an incident or getting stuck next to another driver side by side for a couple of laps, whether it's a lap down car or whatever. I think Ryan Honeycutt finishes in the top 5, but actually I'm looking, Ryan's pitting, so
there you go.
Move Honeycutt out. I'm surprised he's pitting. That's kind of a shock to me.
Yep, there you go. So now he has to hope for a caution. I mean, he was sitting 5th earlier before everything happened, and now because he was out there on older tires, he's going to fall 1 lap. I don't think he's going to fall 2, but he's definitely going to fall 1 as he comes to the attention of his crew. You see the right side go on up, left side's going to be next. He's going to come out feeling like Superman, but I don't think 45 laps is going to be enough. I don't think he catches Ryan Crooks or anybody else for that matter. And so far, yeah, he's fallen back. So 18 tried. You got to give him credit for trying. He sat right around 5th for the first half or so of this race. But so either.
I think Honeycutt's going to be, yeah, obviously he's going to have a little bit fresher tires and things like that, but I'm seeing Dylan Dellinger coming down pit road as well, and he pit a couple laps before Ryan Honeycutt did this last go-round. So I don't think they have to pit again for sure, but could he make it back around and get back into that top 8? It's going to be close if he can, but like I said, I think this race was all Ryan Crooks from the start. As fast as he's been all night through practice, qualifying, and then to start this race, unless there's a mistake from somebody else that he gets caught up in or something, nobody's going to get to him. Kevin McCann's a little over. Nobody's going to catch him unless the caution comes out. And Ryan's probably sitting in that rig right now with fingers and toes, everything he can cross and still drive and hope that a caution does not come out for this.
I tell you what, looking at Kevin McCann here in this double 3, up 4 spots right now, as you just mentioned, sitting P2, 1.8 back sell earlier, 33. He's trying, and he's got to contend with this lap traffic. Meanwhile, if we look ahead from Ryan Crooks, he's got a whole lot of clear track up ahead. Nobody all along the front stretch. Nothing but that very, very valuable.
Making the pass on Ryan to get one of his laps back since he just pit with Ryan Honeycutt. That's the only thing he really has to worry about. Those guys being on fresher tires and trying not to run him over. So he's got to give them a little space and things like that. But they've got to be careful, too, because you don't want to wreck the leader. But he's a little bit faster than Chris Medford by about 0.2. And McCann has not gained really anything on Ryan. If anything, he's lost maybe a tenth or two in the last couple laps. So Ryan on rails on that last long green flag run where he extended out to 2 seconds over Brian before he hit the wall. I just don't see anybody catching Ryan.
Yeah, right now riding along with Kevin McCann, and that this dash cam, you can see Ryan Crooks right up there, 1.82 seconds right now. And the only reason that fell back just a little bit is because Ryan was fighting with a lap truck trying to go ahead and grab his lap back. We are right back to only having 5 truckers left on the lead lap. Crooks, McCann, Mefford, McCann, and then Bill Hales in that 53, going to be your first truck 1 lap down. He's got to be hoping and praying for a caution if he's going to try to get that lucky dog, get back on the lead lap, and have any shot at trying to win this. But yeah, this has all been Ryan Crooks all night long.
Yeah, and we're pushing about 110, 115 laps since that last caution. So to have the entire field lapped at least by 1 lap in 110 laps is really saying something about the speed that Ryan Crooks has had. And the advantage he got by pitting later than a lot of guys who pit early. It helped the top 4, top 5 that did all that. So if a caution had come out right, as those guys pitted and they went a couple laps down, it could have been a different story tonight. But these guys have been green pretty much for the last 115 laps. Only seen the 2 cautions tonight. I don't see another one coming out here, but it's kind of funny. Ryan Honeycutt, like I just said before, could he make it back to the top 8? He's already made it to 8. And he's actually the fastest on track by about Pete.
Uh-oh. Looks like Tim Schofield and Bill Hales may have just got into it. Let's go ahead and oh boy. Yeah. Here we go. Here are those feeds him up towards the wall. 12 hard to the inside and gets spun like a top. There's the 53, gets collected as well. Tim Schofield, and I think more than likely that truck is probably very, very close to done. Saw a couple puffs of smoke. Let's go ahead and play that one more time. I'm actually going to go ahead and stop this. Let's change over to a different camera here, and we'll play it again. Wow.
Yeah, I'm interested to see who decides to pit here as well.
Man, nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. All right, let's go ahead and bring it back live.
The good thing for like Ryan Honeycutt, who just pit 15 laps ago, He's got semi-fresher tires, not as fresh as he would like as Ryan Crooks and those guys are now having. The only benefit for him was there was only 5 guys on the lead lap. And there's only 5 guys that were 1 lap down, and one of the guys that was 1 lap down was Bill Hills, who was involved in that caution. So those guys all just stayed out. Looks like they've got their lap back, so they are back on the lead lap, but it's only going to put about, I think it was, what, 9 or 10 guys on the lead lap.
All right, so I know we spoke with Ryan Crooks earlier. We're going to go ahead and try to pull him one more time. Just looking for him right quick. Yep, there he is.
Got the other McCann brother to deal with now, though.
Yepper, you got it. Let's see. Ryan, it's repeated SWAT's up in the booth one more time, bud. Here we are. We talked to you about lap 20, and you were talking about what a hot rod you were going to have. Well, here you are, 30 laps to go. You have been the man to beat all night long. You're going to have Kevin McCann to fight this time, and he was fighting about 1.5 to 2 seconds behind you, as well as Ryan Honeycutt, Chris Mefford, and Gabe Ellison. Only 5 trucks left on the lead lap. Can you get this one done, sir?
Yeah. Keep clean air on the truck, and yeah, like I said, I was saving gas on the last run, and it was going to be really close. I think I was going to be good, maybe a lap there. But Kevin's a newcomer up here. He made his way up kind of earlier in the race, so it'll be interesting racing him. I raced Brian kind of harder earlier, and just trying to maintain track position is so important. But I feel good about our shots. And hopefully we can bring one home for Team EMG today.
I got to ask you, man, nerves. What are the nerves like right now, knowing that unless, cautions breed cautions, you're going to have a 30-lap shootout, 30 miles to claim your victory here tonight. And you did really, really well in the shootout. And now we're, 4 or 5 races in, you've got a good shot at grabbing your first points-paying win of the season.
Yeah, no nerves, man. I got ice in my veins. Just taking care of the truck here, keep her out front, and hopefully we'll burn her down afterward. I'll have a good show for you.
There you go. All right, buddy. I'll get you back down again into team comms. Good luck, and yeah, man. You know, of course, you've got everybody out there pulling for you.
Thanks, Pete.
You got it, buddy. All right, so Kurt, 33 to his outside. Lights atop the pace car are out. He says no nerves. 46 behind him, 27 and the 3. He's surrounded now by lead lap. Lap trucks should not become an immediate issue for him. What do you think about his chances, sir?
Put it in the bank.
Oh.
I think he's got it. I mean, Kevin McCann's been very fast, and I was wrong earlier because we skipped last week. I don't know who won last week. So the week prior was Kevin McCann. But I just haven't seen anybody run the times that Ryan's had. 30 laps, that's about the time for his bread and butter. So.
All right, green flag's back out. 28 laps to go here under green. Let's go.
And quickly, Ryan gets out back to a lead. The 46, though, Chris Medford looking underneath the 33, going to complete that pass through third 1 and 2. 27 of Gabe Ellison is now going to try to get to the 33 as well. But look at Medford up here in P2. We haven't seen him up here. We've seen him battling for 3rd and 4th with McCann all night. So now he's up here in the top 2. What does he have for Ryan Crooks?
I'll tell you what, Brandon Medford out there saying, let's go, Medford, get on the damn wheel. Talking about that 46, trying to put on a show, get up there and be the first one to get on by the one under green flag. Obviously, 1 or 2 people have led a lap when he had gone down pit road, but he's been able to hold off all comers, including last season's champion, Brian McCann. Brian McCann right now sitting P5, the 46 of Chris Mefford, Kevin McCann P3, Gabe Ellison, and just talking about Mefford, he just went to Plaid running the fastest lap, a 23:31, the fastest lap.
With Brian McCann multiple times, and he has been the one to come out the other end still leading. So, as you said, nobody else has led a green flag lap tonight besides Ryan, and I don't see Ryan giving it up. He was able to, you heard Brian earlier saying, Ryan threw a block going into the corner, thought he was going to go high, went low instead, Ryan went to a pass. You saw him then go low, and he almost completed the pass, and Ryan went to the outside and went back around him. So nobody has been able to make that pass successfully, and I don't know if Medford can do it. He's going to try it all ways he can. I don't know.
Talk about tit for tat. I just mentioned that Medford went ahead and ran the fastest lap of the race that time. Well, Ryan Crooks says, oh yeah, watch this. Hold my beer. 23:29 says Ryan Crooks, putting that not only of the position, but also the fastest truck on the track. I think he sees that 46. He knows what he's got. Able to hold him off so far. I think that one might be holding that throttle pedal down just a little bit more. There is no more saving anything. You've got to go all out.
Yeah, and the 46 tried something 2 laps ago where he dove up the track in 3 and 4, like I said he was doing before. That's to the back bumper of the 1 before they entered 1 and 2. If this was a short track, that's where you do the bump and run. It is a short track technically with a 1 mile, but I don't know if Medford's got it in him to give the bump. I don't think he's going to be able to pass him on the outside, even though they're on the same set of tires. I don't think he's going to be able to get underneath him unless he bumps him. So, Medford
Whoa!
They gave the bump.
Yeah, he gave him a little bit of a shot. Did that rattle the one at all? Actually, the one that went up track. And Brandon out there saying, causing him to burn up that right front. Yeah, I'd say so. He tried to give that one a little bit of a shot and just did not work. Instead, the 46 ended up bouncing off the bumper and scooting up track a little bit. And yeah, I think you're right, Brandon. I think the 46's right front might be all said and done. The 33 was trying to put on a little bit of a challenge. He's going to be the next comer, trying to get to about the rear end of this IROC Silverado. We got 20 laps remaining. Don't forget, guys and girls, if you want to keep up with these guys, whether it's here on with the truckers, whether it's on dirt, wherever, go on over top of the scoring pylon on Facebook, iRacing IROC. Go on over, smash the follow right here on YouTube. Smash the follow, IROC. Download the free app through your favorite Roku streaming device. All kinds of ways to keep up with every bit of this IROC series. And man, these guys put on one hell of a show.
Yeah, and Medford's not done. I think he gave Ryan a shot there because he bounced it off the wall. I think he was going to try to dime in the corner again, and he went up too high entering and bounced it off the wall, and then just, stayed in the gas pedal to try to get Ryan off the bottom to maybe benefit himself, but he slid back to battling, made that completion of the pass back into third, almost made the pass back on second, but got held up on the outside line, and the 33 is going to continue to stay in second. He's closing in on Ryan. Like I said, I don't know if anybody can make the pass without giving the bump, and I don't know any of these guys to be, what some guys would call dirty or anything like that. To me, it's racing. We see it all the time. I don't like being on the receiving end of it, but it is, it's part of racing on some of these tracks. It's short track racing, as Joey Logano always likes to say. So I don't see anybody doing it. I don't know. Kevin's already got the win earlier. I don't know who won last week, so I don't know if that was Kevin again. But I just don't see McCann being like that.
I tell you what's really puzzling me. Oh, I shouldn't say puzzling. All right, these guys are in the top 5 for a reason. But look at this top 5. Now 15 laps to go. They all just came across the start stripe. There is not a P6 truck anywhere in sight. Looking back from the one of Ryan Crooks right now, these guys have flat left the field. P6 is a good 9 seconds behind this 5 truck leading group.
Yeah, he's also 15 lap older tires, so that's a little bit why. But he did get his lap back. He got back on the lead lap. He was probably hoping for another quick caution so that he could come down and grab the fresh set, but he has not gotten that. So he has started to fall back on some of the guys who were 1 lap and 2 laps down that were able to come get fresh tires compared to him. So I don't think he's going to get back up there unless we got another caution, but we've only got a handful of laps left, being 13 to go now, and Ryan is still out front and still leading. every green flag lap.
That's right, Baker's dozen right now, 27. Looked like he was going to try to look underneath the 46, but nothing doing there. 46 might have found a different groove that's working for him after trying to pressure Ryan as much as he could. 27 again, all over that back tailgate. Gabe Ellison is back quite a bit. This is the battle for P number 3. 46 has it, 27 wants it. Brian McCann just kind of watching everything as it happens, maybe hoping that these two will get together, but it's been a great race so far. A little bit of contact here and there. You know, Uncle Netcode has reared his ugly head once or twice, but man, what a phenomenal race this has been. Coming to 10 to go next time.
Yeah, I think Medford has the right line to stay up there. One of the 33, ooh, and the 23 just bounced off the wall and almost hit the 33 as he went to make that pass. But Ryan Crooks has continued to steadily pull away from second place as he did all night on long green flag runs.
Yeah, this 27 is not done with the 46 IROC truck's back bumper. He wants to share just a little bit of that Chevrolet logo love. 27 is going to try to look to the inside. 46 up high by the wall. 27 is going to go ahead and throw it in. Can the 46 get a great run off? Going to pinch the 27 down just a little bit. We saw this earlier between the 3 and the 1. 46 is going to have the momentum, pinching that 27 down. 27 couldn't get back in the throttle. Again, a fight is going to be a left rear issue. Nope. These guys coming up off the wall. These are the Challenge Series truckers.
We got a 3-car battle here. Brian McCann has stuck his nose in
Yep.
there, and he's waiting for the 27 to figure out what he's going to do. If he waits too long, Brian's going to probably try to go underneath him, which is going to stall out third and fourth, or fourth and fifth. Sorry, but I do want to call it. I did say Ryan Honeycutt would finish fourth or fifth. Sixth, so I was close. I think the 3. I don't think he can make the pass with the damage he's got. So I think he's going to have to wait for the 27 to make a move. 27's been blocked multiple times by Medford. Does he give him a bumper to finish in the top 3 again?
I just meant to rattle his cage, not to wreck him. Well, hey, you can do something quite like that here. Does Brandon Medford out there in chat want to see that? Absolutely not. He wants to see these guys race clean. So far, the 46 been able to dump all kinds of dirty air on the hood of that 27. Not been able to do much. At the same time, when he has been able to get under him, continuing to fight it out for P number 3. Crooks right now, he is just a mere 8/10 now over P number 2. Kevin McCann trying to get on up there, but just not quite able to. Been able to claw it up, you know, bring it to within 1 second, but it really just looks like the 1. He's been holding a very, very pretty wheel, and nobody's had anything for Ryan all night long.
Yeah, and we're coming to 3 to go, so unless something wild happens here, this is Ryan's win. He's got to deal with some lap traffic. He's got clear path right now, but within the next 2 or 3 laps, he might catch another lap car, which is the 79 of Timothy Stubblefield. But I think he's got this one in the bag. Kevin McCann, I think, is going to wind up P2, P3, P4, P5 are going to be settled probably in turn 3 and 4 as we come to the final lap.
Yeah, it looks like Chris Medford has actually been able to extend the gap. Now as the 3 is able to get on by the 27 of Gabe Ellison. So move Brian McCann up to P4. Can he take P3 and go for another podium spot for this champ? We'll have to see. Really throwing it in there. Trying to maybe break in the middle and get back on the throttle as early as possible. Does not want to see the 3 in his mirror. 3 again, all over the back bumper of this 46, going through the corners. And, man, we are about to settle it. Ryan Crook's going to get back up with him. That's going to be the fight for P3. But this is the white flag lap for Ryan Crooks. Down the backstretch for the last time. Kurt going through turns 3 and 4. No issues. No lap trucks to contend with. Ryan Crooks is going to come off, score the win at Dover.
Yeah, Kevin McCann's going to come home second. Medford's going to come home third for his first top 3 finish of the year. Brian McCann going to come home fourth, and Gabriel Ellison is going to round out the top 5. Ryan Honeycutt finishes 6th.
Wow. Man, whatever Ryan Crooks has under the hood of this one, that suspension, whatever changes he made over my new favorite track. All right, let's go ahead and clear the boards for him. It's all yours, Ryan. Burn them down. As he blows the motor, slaps the rear end. Oh, okay, I'm going to guess that was somebody else that blew the motor.
Yeah, I think he just got the damage sound from slapping the wall, but Medford I don't think is happy with the one. He gave him a shot as they went through 3 and 4 before the one came up to burnout. So,
or that might have just been, that I don't think that was displeasure. I think that was just, hey man, great race, congratulations. And this kind of reminds me.
He dented that back.
Yeah, he did.
It was a pretty good shot.
Yep. I really think that was a congratulatory bump more than anything. I don't think there's any ill will between those guys whatsoever. All right, guys, girls, please stay put right here. We are going to have your top three: Ryan Crooks, Kevin McCann, and Chris Mefford. For the back end of Ryan Crooks, more than a congratulatory bump, or what was that? Don't nobody go nowhere. We will be right back. I promise you. All right, ladies and gents, we are back. We got our top three in the booth. First up, we're going to talk to the 46 of Chris Mefford, up one spot from where you qualified. So started fourth, finishing P3. That was one hell of a challenge for the lead. Swats, you got Mr. Mefford.
All right, Chris, this was an interesting race. It seemed to be very, very hard to make passes on a lot of guys. You rode around in the top five pretty much all night, other than when the green flag stops happened there. But on that last restart, you did get up to P2. You got up to Ryan. We saw the battle there that was going on. It looked like you were just a little bit faster than Ryan. And I don't know what happened, so I've got to ask you, what happened into turn 3 and 4 there, as it looked like you were going to try to make a pass?
So I was going to the outside of him, and he really left no room, and then got to his left rear, and I'm not sure if it gave me an X or not, but for some reason the truck didn't act nowhere near the same there. I'm not sure if it's because Kevin got around me and made more dirty air or not. I wish he left racing room, but I get it. You know, it's a battle for the lead, battle for the win, so I can't fault him.
All right, so I'm going to ask another question that I need an honest answer on. And I think Pete may be right, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Did you give Ryan the shot there after the race? Was that showing a little displeasure for the amount of room he left you in that corner where you bounced it off the wall and then gave him a little love tap going into the corner?
I will let you guys decide that.
I said it was a congratulatory bump, so we'll go.
It was a pretty hard bump.
we'll go with the lighter side. But man, Chris, one hell of a race. You definitely had Brandon out there in chat, kind of rooting you on, telling you to get on the wheel, damn it. And then he thought that you might have kind of burnt up the right front, and again bragging on why this is the Challenge Series. One hell of a race. You wish it was 2 spots better. What do you think you or Kevin McCann or Brian McCann or Gabe Ellison, those that were able to finish the race on the lead lap, what do you think y'all needed in order to get by that one?
I needed that thing to go green, boys. I was good on fuel. I could race as hard as I want there. I ran about 3 laps longer than Kevin. I think he was really good, and I think Brian pitted a lap or 2 before him. So I know them boys are trying to save fuel, or at least not burn up as much. Yeah, after I came out of the pits, I cut Kevin's down to, I think it was just under 5 seconds, and I think he cut Ryan's down, to about 3 seconds as well. So she was definitely coming. I didn't feel like I was burning the right front off. I probably was, knowing me. No, he was fast. He was, from my vantage point, looking, he was trying to, block pretty aggressively that whole race. I know fresh air does mean a lot.
Yep.
But once you get in traffic, it don't really matter too much.
I'll tell you what, we were talking about the schedule a little bit ago. Leaving Dover, we're going to be heading up the turnpike to Pocono for 80 laps next week. Tricky Triangle, obviously, 3 very distinct turns. One for Trenton Speedway, one for the motor famed after the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, or the Brickyard. Is that place going to pose a little bit of an issue for you? You feeling pretty good about heading up to the Pennsylvania Mountains next week?
It's always a hit and miss for me. There's sometimes I'll be on, sometimes I won't. Dover tonight. I've never raced like this before. Just ungodly amount of grip. You could really drive to the outside of people, as you've seen tonight. Even going for the leader. Seen Brian go to the outside of Ryan a couple times. You see Ryan hold his ground on the outside. And usually, you can run a lane or 2 off the bottom and be just fine. But you can run 2 or 3 lanes up and be just as fast. So each track's gonna be different. If it's cloudy, it's gonna have a lot of grip. I haven't raced it since been a while. It's been a while. I like Indy, I like Milwaukee, but no matter what, just even the gearing ratio is different. So you can put any track out there, the same banking, same distance around. But if you got a bigger track, just the RPM is going to be different. You're going to use more brake, use less brake. It's going to be a fun little challenge for everybody. I know Brian and Kevin are usually pretty doggone good there. I'm not sure about Ryan. I think his first season with us.
Yep.
So we shall see.
All right, buddy. Well, definitely big congratulations. It's 3rd place finish. Be a huge help in the points. Congratulations one more time, sir.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
You got it. All right, Swats, we're going to bring on up the one and only Kevin McCann, driver of the 33, up 4 spots, coming home P2. He's all yours.
All right, Kevin, this is another top 3 finish for you. Very, very fast truck tonight. But, I mean, what did your truck need to be able to compete with Ryan Crooks tonight? Because it just seemed like his truck was on a different level than everybody else's.
I don't think there was much I could do, honestly. He had definitely had the long run pace here tonight. He knew how to save the tires for when they mattered. So, I was just a passenger at that point, riding second.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, there was a lot of action on track. You and Medford pretty much stayed next to each other, I would say, almost the entire race. One position, either he was in front of you or you were in front of him. The banking's pretty much the same for a lot of the track as well. What is it that you like about Dover and helped you excel to P2 tonight?
I don't really like Dover, but the truck wasn't as tight tonight as it usually is at this track. So the setup definitely helped here tonight, being a little bit freer. It still got tight, but loose on the early run, I think helped me out the most.
I tell you, it was kind of interesting. I was wondering what kind of changes y'all were making with your wheel, with the brake bias and all that. Dover can be a very tricky place. The entire race was overcast. We definitely started to see the track get more and more rubber laid down, the concrete surface getting more and more black. What kind of changes did you have to make throughout the race in order to keep up with the track?
Well, just controlling your entry speed. and when you got back on the throttle, that's pretty much all you could do.
And then, of course, last but not least, Pocono Raceway next week. Very, very fast. The longest straightaway in all of NASCAR in Pocono Mountains. Is this track a point of contention for you? Is you going to have to use up a little bit extra seat time this coming week, or are you feeling pretty good about heading up to PA?
No, I love Pocono. It's one of my best tracks, so I'm really excited for next week.
Well, I got a chance to kind of listen in on your brother's broadcast last week. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it. I had to head up north myself, and he was curious if you were going to be able to make it on fuel. He felt you're going to have a really good finish there, and you did. So solid finish tonight. You're kind of sounds like you're calling your shot next week. Should something
Yeah, just shout out you guys doing the broadcast, and then the guys that put on the IROC League.
There you go. Well, Swats, one more guy to go, and this guy has been absolutely no stranger to the stream at all. We were able to talk to him a couple times. Usually we'll talk to each driver once as cautions go through, but we did race long. Go ahead and get him, sir.
Yeah, Ryan, it was just unbelievable to see how fast you were tonight. It was from the drop. I mean, even in qualifying, obviously, but I think maybe some iRacing officials are going to take a look at this one truck because it was just so fast compared to everybody else. You'd flop back and forth with Medford a little bit for fastest lap of the race there at the end, and then you just extended on everybody whenever he tried to make that pass on the outside. He said you did give him dive into the corner.
Yeah, he restarted so fast. He got clear of Kevin on the top. He was on the top, and as soon as he got clear, I hadn't really raced him a lot, and man, he was so fast on the short run. So I knew if he got to my outside quarter, was able to turn down in the middle of the corner, that I would be in trouble going down into one. I'd have to just ship it off. So yeah, man, we got into each other a little bit in 3 and 4, but I mean, like I said, if I'm outside, he'd have had me. So I had to just try to shrink the track down a little bit, give myself more turn radius, kind of take his away a little bit, just so I could keep control of the race and stay out front and kind of run my pace.
I tell you, Ryan, it was one hell of a race all night long, and we were able to kind of keep up with what was happening. For each challenger you had on the inside, you pretty much pinched them down. That way they were able to get back in the throttle and allow the truck to kind of wash up track, get a good run off. And that allowed you to get back into the accelerator and really get down the straightaways better than anyone else. I mean, the 3 was there, the 46 was there, the 33 was there. You fought off each and every one of the challengers that came up. I told Kurt when it was all said and done, you need to take the notes from tonight, your wheel settings, your brake bias, and everything, and really apply them to each and every fixed race that comes up next season. I think you would just absolutely harvest iRating from Dover Motor Speedway. Miles the Monster absolutely had nothing for that Spartan Transportation one truck tonight. Walk us through your race, and was there ever a moment where you thought you didn't have it?
Yeah, so it was pretty solid in the beginning. Brian made a good run a couple times, and I was able to get free of him and just really take care of my stuff and kind of throttle control, just saving the right front. And when we got really spread out, and I knew we were gonna start doing green flag cautions. I'm up here trying to click buttons and figure out, what my strategy is going to be, also while trying to maintain the gap I've got on second. And I almost lost it there. I was coming through 3 and 4. I had like 3 laps left on my tank, and I was really trying to stretch that first long green flag run to make it a one-stop race. And I came down to pit, and in fixed races, green flag stop. So I came down and I was hauling ass, and I tried to hit the brake and almost turned her around. So I gave up like 2.5 seconds on Kevin, and but the next lap around I was able to really maximize on pit entry and create a gap. Came out of that pit stop. I knew Honeycutt was in the lead. I was trying to just manage my gap and save gas. I was probably going to be good, maybe a lap there. It was going to be really close, but I was also worried about Honeycutt splitting the run in half. And I thought it was really going to, if it would have stayed green, I thought Honeycutt was going to get up there with us, and it would have been a dogfight. So I was just trying to manage my stuff there. Of course, the caution came out, and from there I knew it was gloves off, and had to go get it there. But just glad it worked out. Yeah, really enjoyed it. I think I get my, I guess, decent driving ability here at Dover from just getting my ass kicked by Raja Karuth all the time racing here. He's so good here. So I typically just go into his cockpit and kind of like look at his wheel, see how I think he has his offset set up, and try to just mimic his line. But yeah, he's really good here, and I took a lot of lessons from watching him and getting beat by him.
Well, man, nobody was able to beat you tonight. Dover is in the books. Heading to Pocono Raceway next week. Pocono Mountains, 2.5 mile tricky triangle. Deep in the Pennsylvania mountains. 3 very different corners. One after the Milwaukee Mile, one after Trenton Speedway, and the other after Indianapolis Motor Speedway. When we get there next week, is there any certain part of the track that's going to cause the most trouble for you, or are you feeling pretty confident already that you'll be able to back up, maybe not a win, but at least a good solid top 5?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I absolutely love Pocono, so I'm going there fully, I wouldn't say expecting, but
loaded for bear.
I fully expect to go in and compete for a win there. Absolutely love Pocono. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's the high speeds and then just kind of the technicality. It's almost like a road course. Like when you come through the tunnel turn, you're going so fast, and just throttle management and kind of managing your right rear. Turn 3, I absolutely love turn 3, and then turn 1. You're just going so fast into turn 1. You kind of got options when it comes to the lanes, but. Yeah, really looking forward to Pocono. Got a bush light here, so love the mountains. And had a strawberry margarita glitch energy drink shake. Got me ready for the race, got me zoned in, and hopefully we can repeat next week.
There you go. And repeat will be on the call for you, I promise you. But man, hey, last but not least, of course, any quick friends, family, sponsors you need to get out there. I heard the glitch there just a moment ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out EMGG, all the watch party. I love going back and watching your stream, Pete, and also going back and checking out the EMGG guys and girls that support and all the cool messages and everything we get. So, shout out to them. Shout out Glitch Energy, and got to get me another shake ready to go. Strawberry margarita, that's the way to go. So, see you guys next week at Pocono. Hopefully we can go back to back.
All right, and of course, we definitely couldn't do all this without the sponsors here for the Spartan Transportation LLC IROC Truck Challenge Series. That is a mouthful each and every week. But yeah, R&R Racewear. It's R&R Enterprises, an apparel and die-cast company based in Valley Park, Missouri. Company operates in a state-of-the-art facility and employs over 25 people. R&R began as an awesome collectible R&R began as Awesome Collectibles, an 800 square foot die-cast store in 1995. After a few years, the company became a distributor for Action Performance before venturing into t-shirt and embroidery in 2009. Of course, besides R&R Racewear, got to give a big thanks to the Hot Dog Stand podcast. I mentioned it earlier. Please go on over to your favorite Roku device, whether it's a TV or a Roku streaming device, and look up IROC TV. It's the logo that you see on the bottom left of your screen. All broadcasts that you see here, whether it's a club, community, league, I just mentioned podcast or a POV stream, whatever, all broadcast in stunning 4K, and best yet, the app is absolutely free. And then, of course, to our title sponsor, the one and only Spartan Transportation LLC. At Spartan Logistics Management, you will find a combined 75 years worth of experience among their logistics specialists. Through their team, you can rest assured that your freight will always be managed safely and with the highest of priority. They are constantly innovating to refine their processes to ensure that you and your customers are given only the highest quality of service. A dedicated logistics specialist will always be readily available 24 hours a day, 365 days a year to provide you with the quality, reliable service, never leaving you with unanswered concerns or questions. Through technology, you never have to question if your freight has been picked up up, delivered, or build, they will provide you with full service tracking from start to finish. And it has been an absolute pleasure for both Kurt Swatsworth and I, repeat, to give you your full tracking tonight of every single lap here from Dover. Miles the Monster was pretty clean with these guys, grabbed a few up early, but for the most part, Ryan Crooks able to grab the dub here from Dover. On to Pocono next week. For Swats and me, thank you very, very much for coming out, hanging out, chatting it up, keeping us company. We'll see y'all again soon.